What's going on? This is Terrence Manning. Thank you for watching My Thoughts Uncut. Today, I want to talk about Jay Jones, the candidate for Attorney General in Virginia. He said some crazy things via text and has been brought to light. Let's take a look at what he said. Let's go.
The pressure is growing on Jay Jones, the Democratic candidate for Attorney General in Virginia, to drop out of the race. It comes after Jones admitted to sending violent text messages directed at former Virginia House Speaker Todd Gilbert and his children. The controversy comes as candidates for governor are set to debate tomorrow live on thehill.com at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. The issue is already becoming a flashpoint in that race as well. Joining me to discuss, Julia Manchester, national political reporter here at The Hill. Hey, Julia, so just to recap, Jones compared Gilbert to infamous mass murderers Adolf Hitler and Pol Pot and suggested in a hypothetical.
See, this is the rhetoric Democrats use all the time, comparing someone to Hitler. That's like their go-to play.
Three-person scenario, Gilbert should be shot first. He also suggested he wished Gilbert's wife could see her children die so her husband would reconsider his political views.
Are you kidding me? Talked about the man's wife and his kids. And this is the person that's running for AG in Virginia?
On gun violence. So, condemnation has come from both sides of the political aisle, but the calls so far for Jones to drop out of the race only from Republicans. Why?
Only from Republicans. Only Republicans want him to drop out the race, not Democrats. You see how hypocritical they are?
Well, there's a few factors at play. First of all, we have seen Democrats inside and outside of Virginia condemn Jones's language. We've heard Democratic gubernatorial candidate Abigail Spanberger call those comments essentially disgusting, saying she conveyed her disgust to Jones in a phone call. And if you're Abigail Spanberger, you're clearly not happy with this. It's been a pretty smooth campaign, I would say, for Virginia Democrats, including Spanberger, but now this is upended the entire thing, or seems to have upended it. However, we are seeing a lot of Virginia Democrats not going as far as calling on him to step down.
And he needs to step down. Condemning him is one thing, but actually telling him to step down and actually verbalizing that out loud to the media, that's another thing. And Democrats never do that. I wonder why they're not condemning him in that way to step down.
Number one, Jones's name is already on the ballot. Early voting has already taken place. When voters go to vote in November in Virginia, they will see his name. I think there's also the question of, there's certain power brokers in the Democratic Party in Virginia who have, stood behind Jones, like Senator Luis Lucas, State Senator Mamie Locke, for example, the Speaker of the House, a Democrat, has stood behind him. So that's...
I wonder why they're standing behind him. Could it be the color of his skin? Could it be because he's black? You tell me.
I think a lot of Virginia Democrats don't necessarily want to create a divide there. However, from talking to a number of strategists in the state, the sense I have is that, even before this, Jones was running his own race. Yeah, they're technically the same ticket, but you vote for governor, lieutenant governor, and attorney general individually. So essentially, there's a sense of he's on his own. And Drew, we could very well see for the first time since I think Senator Tim Kaine's gubernatorial administration in the early 2000s, a split ticket. It's possible. We don't know if we will, but we could very well see a Governor Abigail Spanberger and an Attorney General Jason Miyares.
See, the thing is, this is accountability. He said those things in the text messages. He got caught, but he's not stepping down. No accountability from Democrats. That's how it seems to be all the time.
Is there an element of racial politics involved in this? Jones is black. Some of the top black leaders in the state of Virginia, in the Commonwealth of Virginia, I guess, have stood by him in this. Has that caused some of the other Democratic Party officials, the candidates in even the gubernatorial race, to not kind of want to cross that line?
I don't think it's a top reason for it. However,
She don't think it's a top reason for it. If this guy was white, he would have been it all hell would have broke loose. Come on now. You know why that they're not condemning him in a way to tell him to step down from this race. It's because he's black. This rhetoric shouldn't be tolerated, especially by someone that's running for AG. This is absolutely absurd. She don't think that's the main reason. That's the main reason. So just because you black, you can say anything you want? Come on.
think it's certainly a factor. Remember, Democrats in Virginia, if you're running statewide in Virginia, you need Virginia's black vote. It is a crucial voting bloc in the Commonwealth. And we have seen leaders of, prominent African American political leaders in Virginia continue to stand behind Jones, who also is black. So creating that fissure, so close to an election could, I think send ripples through the party, create a lot of uneasiness, more tension. So I think there's a timidness to go that far.
To all my black people in Virginia, you see this, you know this is wrong. You cannot vote for someone that speaks this way, and he's going to try to run for attorney general. This is absurd. Let's take another look somewhere at a different source and see what they have to say about this.
Triggers, but they are inspired by the hate tolerated and encouraged by the leadership of the Democrat Party.
Jay Jones, who's running for attorney general in Virginia, is being called to drop out of the race by a slew of Republican officials. Leaked text messages from 2022 show the Democrat calling for violence against former Republican Virginia House Speaker Todd Gilbert and his family. The text messages reveal.
So I guess if you're black and you say these violent things via text, things that you're wishing for, and the opposition is white, it's okay. It's not hate speech. It's not racist. It's okay when you're black. I see. Okay.
Jones said he would rather shoot Gilbert over.
Look at this. They say nice things about everyone. LOL. If those guys die before me, I will go to their funerals to piss on their graves. See, people on the left talk about the way Trump rhetoric is. I've never seen him talk about killing people via text or wishing death on people via text.
For dictators Adolf Hitler and Pol Pot. Jones went on to say he believes Gilbert and his wife are, quote, breeding little fascists and hoping his children.
You see this? Breeding little fascists? The kids? He's talking about the innocent children? You see, I guarantee you, if the shoe was on the other foot, this would not be tolerated. All social media platforms, X, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, they would be going after someone if that was a white guy saying it to a black guy, or any race saying it to a black person.
Would die. His Republican opponent, Attorney General Jason Miyares, slammed Jones in an open letter to all Virginians. Jay Jones wished for the violent death of a political opponent and then fantasized about that opponent's children dying. This conduct is
How do you fantasize about kids dying? What is going on the left? This is not even radical. This is even far than radical. This is crazy.
Disqualifying. Prior to this week, this race was about competing views on public safety. Now it's about basic fitness for public office. Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin responded saying this violent, disgusting rhetoric targeted at an elected official and his children is beyond disqualifying. There's no gosh, I'm sorry here. He then called on his Democratic running mates to tell Jones to end his disgraced campaign. Abigail Spanberger, the Democratic candidate for governor, said she spoke to Jones about the text messages, but stopped short of calling for him to drop out of the race. Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears, who is the Republican gubernatorial nominee, blasted Spanberger for her response. Jay Jones literally fantasized about killing a man and 2 children, and Abigail Spanberger
This is
still doesn't
absurd.
have the guts to tell him to drop out. But she didn't stop there. During a press conference Saturday night, Sears is now calling for Spanberger to leave the race.
So it is not enough for Jay Jones to drop out of the race. Let me be clear. Spanberger's continuing support for Jay Jones is also disqualifying her for office. Let your rage fuel you. Remember, Abigail said, she and her party's irresponsible behavior have brought us to this point.
Jones has apologized, saying he takes full responsibility for his comments and that he reached out to Gilbert to apologize to him and his family.
I don't want an apology. Drop out. You don't belong in office. You don't belong in government speaking that way. I don't want an apology. You're only apologizing because you got caught. There's no other reason. There's no other reason why he's apologizing. He's apologizing because he got caught red-handed, and whoever saved those text messages and never deleted them, thank you. Thank you for exposing this, because we can't have government officials speak this way. When you say this about your opponent, but then you bring in his wife and kids, that's a whole different level of evil. I'm not sure where this Democratic Party's going. Let's check another source. Let's check Fox News and see what they say about this.
Pot and had only 2 bullets, he would shoot Gilbert twice. Really? Immediately before that, he wrote, quote,
oh, let's rewind this.
Twice. Hitler, 2022 text messages that the Democratic candidate Jay Jones sent in 2022, not that long.
3 years ago, he sent this. This is when Biden was in office. So Democrats have been speaking this kind of way for years, and we didn't know about it. Privately, might I add.
Ago came to light, including several in which he's fantasizing about assassinating the Speaker of the Virginia House, Todd Gilbert, going as far as to say that if he was in a room with Gilbert, Hitler, Pol Pot, and had only 2 bullets, he would shoot Gilbert twice.
Look at this. 3 people, 2 bullets. Gilbert, Hitler, and Pol Pot. Spoiler. Put Gilbert in the crew with the 2 worst people you know, and he received both bullets every time.
Really? Immediately before that, he wrote, quote, if those guys die before me, I will go to their funerals to piss on their graves. And sadly, they got worse because more disgusting messages show him attacking graves. And
did you see that? Look, the person he's communicating with in his text message, they're saying, Jay, please stop. So whoever he's talking to, even they're like, this is too far. This is crazy.
sadly, they got worse because more disgusting messages show him attacking Gilbert's children, calling them fascists and saying that he hoped that they would die because, quote, only when people feel pain personally do they move on policy. And one source is telling the National Review
this is a perfect example of how the left moves.
Suggested on a phone call that he wished Gilbert's wife could watch her children die in her arms. Now, the messages sparked widespread outrage with Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin. He'll join us in a minute. President Donald J. Trump, Lieutenant Governor and gubernatorial candidate Winsome Sears, all calling on Democrats to push Jay Jones off the ticket, calling the text, quote, beyond disqualifying. The silence from Democrats in the Commonwealth of Virginia has been deafening, and now, with less than a month until Election Day, the messages are now threatening a major shakeup in that belt.
Vile, disgusting messages. And he has yet to drop out.
Whether state in those races, Abigail Spanberger did put out a weak statement condemning generally political violence and violent rhetoric, but she stopped short. She wasn't courageous. She would not call on Jay Jones to drop out of the race. Even Liberal Joe was saying they should drop out. We reached out to her campaign. Shockingly, they did not respond to our request for a comment. Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin is here with more. The silence on this from Democrats in the Commonwealth, to me, is repulsive and deafening. What's going on there?
You see, this is what's going on with the left. They can't win with politics. They can't win with their smarts. So they go to violence, threats, and anything they can do to win. It's a perfect example. You don't agree with someone's politics, you talk it out. That's how we do. That's what free speech is. You don't go to threatening someone in their family, their kids.
It is repulsive and deafening, Sean. And again, we have the Democrat candidate for Attorney General, the top cop in the state, wanting to put 2 bullets in a political adversary's head, wanting his 2-year-old and 5-year-old children to die. And finally today, what also came out is he's advocating for there to be a few cops who would be killed. I mean, this is unbelievable stuff. And yet the Democrat leadership, both in the state and at the national level, has yet to call for him to step out of this race in disgrace. Abigail Spanberger gave a weak comment and has yet to say, drop out, Jay Jones. And yet, Sean, remember this. Back when the previous governor of Virginia had his blackface scandal, within 24 hours.
You see, this is the same thing they did with Trump. They couldn't control him. They couldn't beat him politics wise. So they threatened him. They tried to kill him, tried to assassinate him, tried to put him in jail.
Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger called for him to resign. Well, here we have her running mate who wants to have children die, a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old, put bullets in the head of a political adversary, and wants police officers to die. And all she can say is he must apologize. And
I didn't even know he mentioned police officers too. This guy's just going for everybody. What is he doing?
then they are out campaigning. Tim Kaine supported him this weekend. Congressman Vindman came back and re-endorsed him, and they're out raising money for this guy. At the end of the day, this is the Democrat Party today that is just fine with political violence as long as it doesn't inconvenience them. The bottom line is we've got to stand strong as Virginians and get to the polls and make sure that everyone understands Virginia cannot have this. We cannot have leaders who would either advocate for this or accept it. And that's what they have done. And that's why I'm asking everybody, get out and vote and make your voice heard. And by the way, also, we've got to support these candidates, Sean. Winsome Sears, go to winsomesears.com. Go to jasonmiares.com and Carrie Corner. Carrie Corner is the delegate, Sean, who came forth and really exposed to Virginians the real Jay Jones. And now they are targeting her race as their number one beat. They want to actually.
Well, we know the real Jay Jones. The real Jay Jones. Please stand up. Please stand up. Back in 2022, this occurred. And it's funny how more people are waking up to how Democrats, how liberals react when they can't handle pressure, violence, threats. This guy, he takes the cake. He's threatening family. He's threatening police. He's out of control, and he needs to be stopped. He needs to drop out of the race, and maybe even, maybe they should even do an investigation on him. I hope all of you in Virginia don't vote for him. People who have children in Virginia, think about what he said. Think about what he texted 3 years ago. And the only reason he's talking about apologizing is because he got caught red-handed. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you on my next one. Peace.